I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the American Idol After Show. Tonight, we are going to be talking about Season 18, Episode 3, some more auditions. We got a lot going on tonight, guys. We are going to talk about the people that didn't make it. We're going to talk about some surprises that hit us, and we're going to talk about the absolute bests. We have a special segment, of course. Gotta talk about those tearjerkers. And we have some country music news that has to do with some of the past Idol judges and contestants. So, let's get started. Let's talk about our overall thoughts, guys. What'd you think?
Ooh, one of the saddest episodes I've seen, I think. It made me cry, which is hard to do. But it was very one of the most original, I say, as well. A lot of very original talent, original music, original songs. It was good. I liked it.
Definitely tearjerker moments today, but also some sass. I love that 78-year-old great grandma with her 6-inch heels, her leopard print dress. There was some sassiness going on too.
Killed it.
Yeah.
Well, let's actually not forget to tell y'all who exactly we are. I am Trina Dong, and I am joined by the lovely Lisa Masi, who has been watching American Idol since day one. She's an OG.
OG. In fact, I used to go watch the tapings back in the day, back like Kelly Clarkson, Ruben Studdard season, way back.
Way back then.
Live. And well, and we also have our resident technical music expert,
Yes.
Mr. Humza Khan.
Thank you for having me, guys. I'm happy to be back. I missed you guys last week, and I know you had a
Missed
great show
you.
without me, but the cold weather in LA welcomed me back from New York. So
We missed you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Always got to be rainy when you come back from the
Right.
East Coast. All right, so let's just dive right into it. So we had a couple people that did not make it tonight, as we always do. And one thing I want to mention in this episode, they did bring back the little viewing of a bunch of small auditions of the people that maybe weren't so great. What did you guys think about bringing that back to like kind of Idol Day 1 times?
I liked it. It gives an opportunity for more people to be shown on TV. Some people do come there. They might not be American Idol material, but they have a lot of some people are really witty. Some people have good humor. Some people are good at instruments. So it's a way to showcase a bunch of different talents.
Absolutely.
I agree. I think it kind of broke up the show too, rather than just being audition after audition.
Right.
It kind of, broke it all up.
I liked it.
Yeah.
But we did showcase a few of those on a larger platform. So first, let's talk about our resident yodeler. And I'm not talking about Katy Perry, but darn it, did she try? And I thought she was kind of good.
She did really good, in my opinion. I thought she hit it pretty strong right off the bat. She's definitely a good singer, you can tell, because she knows how to pick up the note right when he dropped it. I really liked that segment. I know you guys probably didn't like it as much, but that really made me laugh. I don't know what it was about it, but I cracked up the entire time.
So our fellow was named Jared Leto.
Yep.
The
Right.
other Jared Leto, of course. Don't get confused or twisted. What did we think about his overall audition?
I actually didn't hate it that much. I think if he had just done a sprinkle of yodeling, it would have been okay. Way too much yodeling, but just a hint, just a little sprinkle.
Okay.
would have been
Agreed.
you know?
He should have kept it in his back pocket. It was
Yeah,
like a surprise.
yeah,
I think he
agreed.
could have done his regular set, and then the surprise or the high note for him would have been that yodeling.
Yeah.
Right.
That he could have done better with that if he just hit it.
Right.
Well, obviously yodeling is very hard, and I, for some reason, was judging him while he was doing it as if I'm some sort of expert.
Yeah.
But I've only ever heard Jewel yodel
Yep.
ever, but I was like, I think Jewel would have done it a little bit differently,
Right.
which is so rude and unfair. So I'm sure he's really, really good.
Right.
But it's just we don't know enough to really classify
Right.
where that is. But like you said, we watched Katy do it, and she was hitting notes, but we don't know how
Right.
hard that is or, what else. He had some strong stage presence there, no?
Yeah, I think he knows what he's doing when it comes to song construction. I think he knows what he wants to do and what he wants to portray. I just think he needs a little bit more training when it comes to it. The yodeling is probably the only reason he made it on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but it was good though, because again, that was something no one expected.
Right.
Right.
But it got him on TV. He got TV time, and who knows where he can take it from here.
And he said he was self-taught. I mean,
Yeah.
how do you teach
Yeah.
yourself how to yodel?
Right.
That's impressive.
Wasn't there a little kid on the internet a few years ago in the middle of a Walmart somewhere? He was yodeling and
Yeah,
he became
he's
really
the
big.
one that
Uh-huh,
performed with Lil Nas X
Yeah.
in BTS in the Grammys.
That wasn't him, was
Yeah.
it?
Humza.
That
wasn't him.
He grew up.
But he didn't grow up. But the other guy's trying to catch up
There you
with
go.
how good that yodeling was. You're right. I should have been comparing it to him the whole
Yep.
time instead.
I know.
But I thought he was a nice guy in the room. He didn't get mad.
Right.
And his songwriting, he tried. And he tried to do his thing. So maybe next time, maybe there will be a yodeler idol. We don't know.
Ultimately, a nodal to yodel.
Nodal
That's what
to
they
yodel.
said.
Whoa. You're right. They did give him a nodal.
Yeah.
And he noted it. And I liked it. Okay. So, moving on, we have our resident social media influencer / model / actor, Mr. Isaiah Grass. There was a whole storyline here that we started from. We got a lot of this guy on, and so we learned what was going down. He showed up with his manager, etc. Tell me what we thought.
Ooh, I mean, it was a hard one to speak on. He's definitely his own idol. I'll say that. He loves himself very much, which is good. Good to have that kind of self-esteem. I think he may have given us a little too much of himself, too much on the surface, not enough in depth, right? And I think that's one thing that was missing from him is we get to know a lot of these people and who they are, but he came with an image he was trying to portray, and I think that that's probably what cost him more than anything. His singing was good, in my opinion. I liked the song, but I think he cost himself that by coming in way too assured of himself.
Can we talk about the fact that he came in with his own karaoke machine? I mean, I've never seen that before.
He did have that. Yeah.
That was interesting.
Could not. I was so nervous.
I know.
About the cringe factor of when he started unraveling the machine because you don't know what you're gonna get. I agree. He did not have a terrible voice, but the whole thing just kind of didn't make sense. But it did show us a lot about Los Angeles.
That's true, and social media.
Yeah, and social media in general.
There was a moment there where he was singing and the judges were kind of doing background. I felt like I was watching Glee or something.
Very entertaining.
True. It wasn't entertaining.
Very
he
entertaining.
lent himself, and he was very nice at the end. I did not expect that.
Yeah.
He walked out gracefully, said thank you.
Right, right. And then they're right, though. I think for Broadway or like even musical theater, because of how entertaining he is, his voice and everything, he will do really well on those kind of stages. And it's nothing less than what anyone else is doing, because Broadway musicals are major hits, right?
Yeah.
People come from all over the world and pay hundreds of dollars just to sit in the nosebleeds on a Broadway show. So he can do well for himself. He really can.
And he fits the one-man show thing that we kind of have been getting throughout these episodes. A couple of people, one woman, one-man show, they fit that universe.
Right.
Right.
All right. Well, that was it. That's all we had for those why didn't they make it?
Right.
So let's move on. But before we do, we want to thank everybody for always tuning in to us here at AfterBuzz. Guys, we want to hear what you think. Comment below. Obviously, don't forget to subscribe to us so that you know when we have live shows. And then let us know your opinions, your thoughts of American Idol. We know there's a lot of stuff that we don't have time to talk about that maybe you're interested in, and then maybe we'll talk about next time. So thank you so much for tuning in to us every week.
Yes.
So let's move on to the surprises. So a couple people came through and surprised us. First of all, we had Mr. Ryan Harmon.
Right.
So no, he was a singer. He had his guitar. We knew he was going to be so country, and he kind of looked the country part.
Right.
And then he came through. And what did you guys think?
I personally really, really liked him. I liked his voice. He was good, but I think he was just so, his wit was kind of there. I liked his sarcasm a little bit. He's a pretty funny guy. I think he knows he's a pretty funny guy.
Sure.
His talents need to be on TV a little bit more. Typically, I'm very much in sync with the judges, especially Lionel. I think Lionel's very, very smart, and I think he knows what he's talking about. But I did not agree with the fact that he didn't make it. I wanted Ryan to go through.
Interesting. What do you think?
I totally agree. I wanted him to make it through also.
Yeah.
I loved the song that he wrote. That was such a great song. In fact, he said he was hoping it could be on Luke Bryan's next album. I could hear Luke Bryan singing that.
Yeah.
I really liked that song. I love country music. I would listen to that song. I liked the rasp and gravel he had in his voice. I didn't know what to expect when he walked out there, but I loved his voice in that song. So I wish he made it through.
See, I think that obviously Luke knows what he's talking about. And they all know what they're talking about as far as Nashville is concerned. And they were doing right by him, honestly, I think, by not putting him forward on the show. Yeah. Because now he has the opportunity to go write music and also perform when he wants to. But writing music, clearly he's so talented. And that could go to the wayside for him if he was to be the next American Idol.
True. Very true. And he probably will do better off in Nashville, writing songs for artists or even for himself. or performing with other artists. I think he'll be like what was that guy's name, Sean, that came with his fiance that everyone seemed to know. He'll be like Sean in a few years, right? He'll come back as American Idol and be like, remember me, guys? Now I'm writing for all these people. So
well, that's the cool thing about country music, right? And Nashville in itself. You don't just know the person on the stage,
right?
You more so know the people that are writing, the people that are playing. You know those people more so than we maybe do in pop music,
right?
So I think he was done a favor.
Yeah.
But I get where you guys are coming from.
No, you swayed my mind there. That was a good one. You did it.
He cried tonight. I swayed his mind tonight.
I don't know. I'm a whole new person. Okay? I'm a whole new person.
So excited.
And actually, they also made the comment that he could be hosting the Grand Ole Opry right now. So, I mean, that would be an amazing gig for him right now.
I hope that someone hears Luke Bryan saying that, dials a phone number, and let's make some of this stuff happen because it makes so much sense.
Absolutely.
All right, well, Ryan, go to Nashville, bro. You gotta go. Okay, so next, Miss Courtney Timmons.
Oh.
So she was stolen off the curbs outside the auditions by Mr. Ryan Seacrest himself.
Right.
And she was not pre-screened at all. No. She was just kind of around. And Ryan sparked a convo. And what'd we get?
Oh my God! So much out of such a little person.
I know,
That's
right?
so much bigness out of a little person. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Her voice was amazing. She was very shy, which you can tell, and being shy and projecting like that is hard to do. So I can only imagine how she'll be once she's more comfortable. She's also a security guard, so I'm not sure how her tiny stature does against like shoplifters or whatever. But I don't know. That girl.
She doesn't give up.
Thank God that Ryan found her. Thank God Ryan found her.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I think it was interesting. I've never seen Ryan Seacrest cry before, at least on this show, and to see him and Katy Perry crying.
That was good.
And something, I don't know if you know, but there were a couple things that were new this year. Obviously, him pulling someone off the street who hadn't been pre-screened or anything, but also he had her on air with Ryan Seacrest on his show on Friday. And that's never happened before. The producers always had a rule that until your show airs, the contestants aren't allowed to be, on any media, but he actually interviewed her on Friday before this episode even aired.
Good for
Courtney,
her.
we love you, Courtney.
I know.
Remember us, Courtney, when you're famous, okay? We were rooting you on from day one.
Exactly. She killed it, though. They were saying that she was one of the best voices of the day. She didn't know that, she couldn't just show up and try to sing. Like, pretty amazing started from the bottom type of story in this situation, because I think she's going to go far.
Very far. If I was there and I showed up and they said, hey, we can't do just people showing up, I would have turned around and went home because I had better things to do, like just lay around all day, you know?
Exactly.
But she stayed all day out there and it worked for her, so that just shows you perseverance, man. It's great.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I'm so excited to watch her in Hollywood. So we have Miss Lauren from Vancouver Island.
Yeah.
She was 16.
Wow.
She came through and blew us away with this voice that didn't match that age.
Not at all. Not at all. I thought she could do well on Broadway as well. Like, she had a really good voice. It was very good control. I'm not. She reminded me of Jordan Sparks when she started. She was 16 also.
Yeah.
And she had really good control of her voice, really good range, and she blew everyone out of the water. And she won, didn't she? I think she won.
Yeah.
So that's what she reminded me of. Just young and talented and very mature with her voice.
I like that. Jordan Sparks. I hadn't thought about that. I know Katy even said she had like a Leona Lewis vibe going.
Yeah.
But Jordan Sparks too. Absolutely. I didn't think about that. I thought it was interesting too that the judges said they want to help carve her into the artist she wants to be. So she can kind of go any direction. They want to help her carve her. Her sound.
And Jordan also did end up on Broadway a few times doing a couple of small stints while she could. So that's a really good comparison.
Right.
Totally right.
Oh, I hit the nail on the head there. I remembered her from back in the day.
I love her.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to who our best parts of the night were. So let's start with Ms. Gina. Walked in there with that bucket hat, the iridescent bucket hat, looking very cool.
Right.
And was a huge Katy Perry fan. What did you guys think? Did you expect what we heard?
Not at all. I don't know what I was. I don't think I thought it was going to be a serious audition, but her voice was insane.
Right.
Like, she was so good.
Well, she's from LA, right? And that's what they.
Yeah.
And we're in LA too, so we see it every day. We see people dressed just like that.
Yeah.
No talent at all, but they feel like if they dress like stars, they'll become stars, right?
Sure.
And then that's what I was expecting. I'm like, she probably went to her friend's closet, got every bit of cool stuff she could find.
Right.
And then she came through, and I like the fact that Katy made her take off her hat stuff because she's a very beautiful girl, nice hair and everything, and great vocals overall. So
Am I the only one? Do you think she looked a little like Kelly Clarkson when she took her hat off. I don't know. I looked at her and like something about the smile. I'm like, she kind of has a
see
Kelly
it.
Clarkson.
I think
thing
you
going
were
on.
thinking Kelly back in the day when we
Yes.
were watching
Yeah.
her
Yeah.
with that like hair straightener,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
dyed hair type look. That those vibes back then in the early 2000s.
Yes. Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, I can see
Just
it.
a little hint to that.
Yeah. She was so good. And the fact that she had all of that history with her being a fan of Katy Perry, I thought was very cool.
Yep.
I always think it's cool when that works out and you get to show your idol that you can kill it and
Right.
say that you were one of my inspirations. I think that's so cool to be able to do, and the kindness that you received back.
And she was the original song, right? I think they said that.
Yeah, she sang an original song. Remember,
Great song.
the hook.
Right. She got the judges to sing along. She's obviously been performing all over LA. I'm surprised I haven't seen her, or maybe I have and just don't remember her because her hat was on. I don't know.
Sure.
But yeah, she definitely original song, and she definitely got the judges in on, and I like that.
Yeah, and Lionel saying, you know, you need a hook, and you got it. We'll remember that.
Yep.
And we sang it along with you, and we were able to do it without you having to do too much teaching. So that was very cool, because that's something she can do also,
Right.
songwriting.
Right.
There's a lot of jobs around that she'll get seen for, so I think that's very cool.
And
Right.
what were we talking about? How she kind of has a little bit of a Billie Eilish
Yes.
vibe to her, also. But yeah,
Just the kind of like, you know, the like a baggy pants, doesn't really just like doing her thing.
Yeah.
Clearly just trying to have fun as aesthetically, and not trying to be showy in the way that maybe most people are showy
Correct.
on shows like this.
Agreed.
So good. Okay, so we also have Shannon from Long Island. She's 20. Yes, and then Shannon went in to tell us early on in her tape that she had a lot of mental health issues as a very, very young child. What do we think kind of going through this with her, and how it evolved in the audition?
I like her story. For the main reason is a lot of people, when anyone thinks of depression, they always ask why, what's wrong?
Yeah.
And that at 4 years old, you don't know what's wrong, right? That shows you that nothing has to be wrong for people to fall into that little depressive state. And I'm so glad that she's coming out of it, or working her way out of it. You could tell she still goes through it, but hopefully this will help her like get to the next level of overcoming all that, because it was very beautiful for her to share.
For sure.
absolutely. And first of all, how cool is it that she grew up watching the show, eating dinner with her family, would stand up on the table with all of them, like she was destined to be here.
Yeah.
And then the song that she chose, I'd Rather Go Blind, is one of my favorite songs of all
yeah?
times. And like Etta James sang it, and Beyonce covered it. A lot of amazing artists have covered it. But I mean, that is...
And she nailed it.
Yeah,
She
that
nailed
song's
it.
no joke. And
Yeah.
she killed it. Exactly.
I also think it's the message, like you were saying, is spot on. That we can't just try labeling everything and saying an answer to why all of the time, because a lot of the time it doesn't exist.
Right.
And a 4-year-old, of course, obviously has no idea why those thoughts are happening, but those states can be within anyone.
Right.
And so it doesn't just have to be, you can feel like that 4-year-old. And I think that is a really incredible message for people to start trying to connect with,
Right.
instead of us trying to point fingers all the time. The show's doing a really good job with mental health.
Yeah, it's strong this season. You can tell they're really pushing it to the forefront, and letting people see average, just normal people dealing with it. Not the like we said a couple of weeks ago, the type that looks like a depressed person, right? It's like she doesn't look like she's depressed, but she's going through it.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, of course, all of this is happening, but she destroys the room.
Yeah.
I mean, she, like you were saying, the song is incredible, the choices, and like Lauren, what she looks like did not fit what came out of her mouth.
Right.
Very strong vocals.
She was so talented. So that was a great moment.
Absolutely.
And now we've
the
got...
Shannon Standard. Don't forget that. She's a Shannon Standard.
Oh, yeah, the Shannon Standard. If you don't meet the standard, you don't come through.
Right.
Hashtag Shannon Standard, okay?
That's it.
She's the bar.
Yeah, done. That was a genius. We would move a little faster, too, if we just went by the Shannon Standard in life, let's say. And so we have Ms. Genevieve, our final contestant tonight.
Ooh, yeah.
She was, that's her name, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Genevieve.
So she auditioned in 2018 in Nashville and made it through. And didn't go very far. I didn't really catch how she dropped off,
Didn't mention that.
where. But sadly, she lost her sister in the meantime, who was a person that was always with her on these sort of adventures.
Right.
What did we think? Another one where we went through this journey with her in like 5 minutes.
Right.
To the story, and then to the audition, and then that voice. What did you think?
A good voice, great singing, can accompany herself on the piano, which is great. I like the fact that Luke Bryan remembered her from 2 years ago.
Yeah.
That means she left a mark, right?
Yeah,
Even if she didn't make it on, I don't know if she made it to the top 10 or anything. But the fact that he remembered her just from the audition parts, and they see so many people every day, not just auditioning, but in just everyday life, he remembered her for a reason, and she's back for a reason as well. And I hope she does this for her sister.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact that she chose How Am I Supposed to Live Without You as her song.
She wanted me to cry.
Absolutely, yeah.
She wanted me to cry.
Is this when you cried?
This is when I cried.
That was
yeah.
then.
Yeah, when I had something in my eye.
Sobs. A lot of it for a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, her voice killed it. That's why he remembered her. She's and her look. She's beautiful. Her voice killed, and it was real. And I'm sure it was just as real then. But we had a little more backstory, unfortunately, this time for her to be shouting out that song. And I think it's beautiful for the world to be able to see that exact emotion. That song is that exact emotion, and that's so cool and wild. And we sobbed.
And, I thought it was interesting. Lionel said tragedy can either destroy you or make you stronger.
Correct.
And I kind of feel like that's a motto for this season so far
Yeah.
for so many of the contestants, so they've all overcome so much.
Good point. Great point.
I agree. Man, he's got those those lessons. He's dropping memes on us all the time.
I didn't realize I was such a big fan of Lionel Richie, the person, right? Not the singer, not his songs, not his music, but the person. Like, he's just such a cool guy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now, let's just quickly go to Mr. Duane Crocker Jr. and his granny.
Ooh, love
Granny
her.
was a vibe. Granny was a vibe. Granny was a vibe. I can hang out with her any day. Like, if she ever wants to come to LA and just kick it, let's do it. 'Cause she seems like she's a fun time.
Yeah, so she finally got to meet Lionel Richie, and she was throwing out all of these, the jargon that he throws out. And Katy even said, "Oh, Lionel, this stuff is real." The California Club and all of that. I thought it was so cool that she came through, got to meet him. She got to slow dance with him because Luke was jumping on the keys.
While he was singing to her.
Right.
Slow dance with him while he's singing Lady to her.
It's all connected because
okay.
even Duane said he wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Lionel, because that's how they met, and it's the most. I liked it. I liked every aspect of it. The family is just a wonderful family, all of them.
The best.
His voice was great too.
His voice was
Don't
great.
forget that.
Yes.
Let's not forget.
Yeah.
I love that voice. Did you guys like the voice? Let's talk about it. His voice a little bit.
So personally speaking, one of the judges, I forgot who, said the same thing I said. He definitely has been singing more high register most of the time, so I know he has control there. I don't think he ever practices his low register, and he kind of breezes over it. And when he was singing low, his control wasn't there. You can kind of hear it. But I feel like with a little bit of tweaking, he obviously has something there. And with the judges' help and a little bit of this competition, he's going to go very far. I say top 10.
Yeah,
Wow,
I agree.
Wow.
It's different. His voice is sounding different than, the other people within that style. And I think it's great.
Yeah.
I liked that arrangement of "Don't Worry, Be Happy."
Yes.
That was really
because-
cool.
Unique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never heard that before.
Well, when they said that, it's like, oh, how's it gonna go? Because I can sing it, and then you're like, that's not gonna work. But he killed it, so that was amazing.
I put that he was like smooth and joyful. He did that song so joyfully, but
Smooth is
different.
a good word for Duane.
Yeah.
He is
Yes.
smooth.
Well, with a great grandma like that, how could he not be?
Oh yeah, you're learning from the top.
Right.
That's it.
That personality of hers. If her personality rubs off on him just a little bit, he'll be a star.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
With the talent and the personality, he's there.
He's
Yes.
it. All right, guys, let us move on to our special segment of the night. Let's talk about some tearjerkers. Humza Khan,
Yeah,
what do we
so
got?
we want to go through and talk about people who tugged at our heartstrings and made us cry, right? And I'm not a crier. It's hard for me to cry because once I start, I don't stop. But I want to hear from you guys. So, Trina, who do you think was your tearjerker of the evening?
Well, as we all know, I was crying all night long. But let me tell you who. Miss Shannon.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, Shannon's story really got me right away because I didn't really expect it. You don't expect to hear the stories about when you're so young. I mean, she's 20 now. She was talking about these feelings when she was 4. And just thinking about how that must have gone. She's very young. And people of all ages, like I was saying before, deal with mental health issues that they don't understand. I just can't imagine being a kid and just trying to get on the school bus and trying to do these things that we may not understand how easy they were,
Right.
how easy we had it.
Right.
And so her whole story and the way that she was able to connect with her family in order to help her out of it, I think the messages are really strong here. And talking about your issues, telling your friends to talk and family to talk about their issues,
Right.
I just think it's amazing. And then for her to go from that to getting help to shining and shining and shining with
Right.
that voice, there is nothing not to tearjerk about
Right.
to Shannon. She's incredible, and I am rooting for her, whether it's on the show or off the show. I don't care what happens.
She's gonna do great.
That girl's gonna kill it.
Right, right. And then you know what? That's to your point. That's a good blueprint for how families should react to that kind of situation. Like if they could put that down on paper and make a book out of it or something, I'm sure it'll benefit a lot of people on how to approach a 4-year-old thinking that way.
Exactly.
So, what about you, Lisa? What do you think was your biggest tearjerker of the night?
That was certainly a large tearjerker. For a different reason, for like inspirational happy tears, I have to go with Courtney Timmons. Just the fact that she did not give up. She was out there on the street corner, missed the auditions, and didn't give up. I mean, was given the opportunity of a lifetime and went in there and sang one of my favorite songs again, Rise Up. I'm sorry. If you can sing that song well. We saw Just Sam sing it earlier this season too. And I know, back to Just Sam. But yes, such a great song and just that kind of tenacity and, not taking no for an answer.
Right.
I was crying like Ryan, Ryan Seacrest, the first time we saw him cry.
But happy tears.
Happy tears.
Yeah.
Inspirational happy tears.
It was our Disney ending. That's what it was.
Exactly.
I like that because it wasn't really sad. It was very much you were so proud of her, and we don't even know her. We're proud of her,
Right.
Exactly.
So that's cool.
Well, that's what even Ryan said. He was like a proud parent.
Yeah, right. And her dad didn't get to be there, but at least you got to call him and everything, which was great. So for me personally, and was pretty much for everybody out there, I'm sure, would be Genevieve, right? She was the one. Her sister, Corinne, passed away in a car accident. Her sister was here 2 years ago with her. And I was, oh my God, I was in New York last week because of my sister. She's actually pregnant. I'm going to have a girl, we found out. So I'm going to be an uncle, right?
Congratulations.
Which is great. But I'm really close with my siblings. There's 5 of us all together. And age ranges from 18 to 34. And all 5 of us on a daily basis are always in a group chat, always talking to each other, even though we're in New York, Florida, and LA. And it's just, if any one of them was to go through anything like that, I can't even, if they just get told like no at Starbucks that their coffee is not there, I get upset. Like, you don't upset my siblings, right? But if they go through anything like that, I don't know how I would live. My oldest sister is the closest to me, and we would, as younger kids, sing together all the time. And just like Genevieve and Corinne, we harmonized always for some reason. Didn't know why. We didn't know how to sing, but we would just harmonize all the time. So I felt very close to her and her story, and I'm rooting for her from here until the end, and she better win this for me. Sorry, it's going a little deep here, so we can end that segment on that note right there.
And Humza making me cry about him now.
Yeah.
So we'll end that segment right there. Let's get into some fun news.
Yes.
We've got some country music news from Miss Lisa Macy.
Oh, thank you. Well, this week, the Academy of Country Music released the names of the nominees for the ACMs that being held this year on Sunday, April 5th. And there's several members of the American Idol family on this list.
Yeah.
Idol judge Luke Bryan was nominated for Entertainer of the Year.
Ooh.
Season 4 winner Carrie Underwood received a nomination for Female Artist of the Year.
Great.
And Gabby Barrett, who finished 3rd on season 16, I don't know if y'all remember her.
Yeah.
She was nominated for New Female Artist of the Year, which is really exciting.
Good for her.
And also this week, Gabby reached #1 on Billboard Emerging Artists charts.
Wow.
Good for her.
I know, she's having a great week.
American Idol in general is having a good
Exactly.
Yeah.
And actually, speaking of Billboard, season 1 winner Kelly Clarkson has confirmed that she'll be returning for a 3rd year to host the Billboard Music Awards on April 29th on NBC.
Kelly's opening to the Billboard Music Awards when she does the mashup of the songs that year in her style, my favorite.
Love that too.
Thank you for that news. So fun.
And Kelly Clarkson is really busy right now in general because she's hosting the Kelly Clarkson Show.
Yeah.
And she's also a coach on a different singing show we
let's-
won't mention. But yeah, so she's pretty busy right now.
The idols are always
Definitely.
busy.
She's definitely American Idol, like through and through.
Yeah,
She's done
exactly.
everything, and she's been relevant since the day it started 18 years ago. So good for her.
Exactly. Well, why don't we get into some predictions for next week's episode.
AfterBuzz
What do we want?
TV predictions.
To be honest, I haven't been blown out of the water yet, and I want someone to come through and really blow me out the water this next auditions, right? And I'm hoping. I think this might be the last set of auditions that they do. I'm not sure, but I'm hoping if it is that they come with something. I know they're gonna come with something big. I just want it to be something that blows me out the water.
But what would that be?
I don't even know. Because so far, maybe I'm just so numb to it because I watched so many seasons of this. Yeah. So maybe that's what it is. I just want something different to come through where we're like, I never even thought of that. You know? Like the "Don't Worry, Be Happy" rendition he did, that was great and all. But I think Grandma kind of took the spotlight there. But I just want something. I don't know. I wish I could tell you what it was. I just want something new.
All right. What about you?
I think kind of you mentioned it either last week or the week before. I want to see someone just belt it out. I may have been listening to the Dreamgirls soundtrack this weekend. Love that
Probably
movie.
the whole weekend.
I know. Maybe, no judgment. I want to see another Jennifer Hudson.
Yeah.
I just like goosebumps.
Yep.
That just incredible voice. I want another J-Head.
I'll take her answer. I want that too.
Yeah. I want something similar as well. I'm still rooting for the hip hop game. Yep. I need someone to come on. Like it doesn't need to be ignored, that genre, just because it's on a different end of pop.
Right.
It can still be pop, and I just want it in there. Yes. But I do want J-Hud as well. J-Hud, we love you.
Yeah.
We love
on
you.
this after show.
Come on our show.
I hope we get what we want.
Yes. Right.
We've been asking for it the whole time, so I hope American Idol delivers.
Yes. I hope so too. I hope so too.
Exactly. All right, guys, that is the end of this show. Where can the people find you online?
Well, for me, on Twitter, Instagram, everything is Humza_Mania. Humza, HUMZA_Mania, MANIA.
Nice. And you can find me on Instagram at Lisa M. Masi. Lisa, 2 M's, ASI.
All right. And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Hey Trina Dong. Thanks, everybody, for joining us for the American Idol After Show, Season 18, Episode 3, The Auditions. Please join us next week for more greatness. Thank you guys so much. See you later.
Bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.